Welcome to Elevated Wisdom, where we transcend and go beyond the subconscious. Great, yourself? No, no, I hear you. It sounds good. You're actually experiencing uh, all those senses that we're here to partake in, right? To all our five. Well, there's more than five senses, but you know what I'm saying. Okay. Well, let's kind of start with a little gratitude technique or exercise, man. So before we get in, let's go ahead and take a moment and pause and take a deep breath. Inhale, exhale. Let those shoulders drop and let the mind just be still. And then now I just want you to think about there's just one thing that you're actually grateful today. Could be anything. Just think about one thing and then just let me know, and then I'll go into mine. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, for me, I would say, oh, hold on one second. Oh, well, apologies, man. Yeah, one thing I'm grateful for is reconnected with myself, I should say. Being aware. That's something I am grateful for. And that would lead into today's topic. Having a new relationship with yourself or a newfound appreciation for yourself. Uh, Seeing the positive things in yourself, the skills, your resilience, the things you're capable of doing, and no longer believing in the negative self-talk and able to withstand the those ruminating thoughts, almost like imposter syndrome, but not really. It's that last little bit of you that's holding on. to the comfort instead of breaking through to that new version of yourself and conquering those fears, you know? So that's kind of what I wanted to lead into today. Since you've been on your journey, has there been any particular moment where you realized I am not the version that I've told myself all these years? Hmm. Okay. And what did you learn from either one? You know, what did you find out about yourself when you were looking at the positive and the negative? What was it anything different? Was it similar? Yeah. But now, would you say that when you do get to the negative, you understand that it's not a permanent thing, that you can exist to feel it, but not beat yourself up for feeling that, right? Where it starts to ruminate and then fester and translates to other thoughts or other arenas or areas in your life where you can get clouded perception, right, of yourself or the world that's, the reality that you're in yourself or the reality that you're creating. Do you kind of get what I'm saying? Like you can. Okay. Mhm. Yeah. No, no, completely. Like these are great answers, and you're providing some context and symbolism for people. So I think it's good. Um, Another question I did want to ask was, at what moment did you realize you truly did have a choice? And when did you start having intention or discernment with your choices? Right. Well, elaborate. We can go there. Like go ahead and explain your philosophy or thought process to that. Not deja vu. No, I think that's great. I mean, I've thought at times I'm all of them at once. That's the only way I'll get the full experience, right? Of all that. Like we're all reflections of each other. So maybe that person doesn't resemble me, but it's still me because I'm creating this reality and I'm wanting to go through that lesson or experience to gain some type of knowledge or understanding about the human experience, about myself. So no, I'm completely with you on that and looking at life as a VR. That's a very interesting concept. And more science has proven that it in a sense is. So it's definitely interesting. But yeah, man. Yeah. 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 Well, and then you got to look at too there's the astral plane, there's the physical 3D plane that we're on, and if you understand and look at a lot of the books, there's several layers of existence, and your body, when you sleep, you astral ast man, I can't even speak today. You project, 'cause I can't even get the word out, but you can go to the astral, and that's where you're kind of learning and living out your other aspect of your life on the spirit side. And when you come, when you wake up, obviously you're back in the 3D world, and that's for some people. They say like if you wake up and you still feel really tired, maybe you were doing something or you were busy in that other realm, right? Another thing they say is which I've done this a lot, especially in school when you used to doze off, but then you'd like jump up real quick. That they would say that you were getting ready to project, but you pulled your body back into the 3D realm. So that's why you jerked. Because there's almost like an umbilical cord when you know how you see them in space, how they always have that wire tied to them where they can go out and do stuff. It's almost similar to that. Like you're tied to the physical body, but you still can project to the astral realm and you come back. It's interesting. Again, that's like you said, it's more of that be a whole nother topic, but these are all interesting concepts, man, to look at um our own existence, you know. Are we really here? Because I would agree with you. We're not. We're just here experiencing these things, but we're not really here. Consciousness itself, that's it. There's nothing beyond consciousness. So my theory would be we are all like a big wave of consciousness, and when you want to experience the individuality of it, you now become a drop, right? Want that one drop of water, but you're still a part of the whole, the consciousness of all things, everything, existence itself. So that'd be all interesting things, man. So right now, are you excited about the relationship you have with yourself? Are you feel like there's things you still want to work on? Where are you at as far as that right now? If you don't mind elaborating. Okay. How did that?
Test 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Just, but you can hear. You can. Yeah. You can hear me now. Can you hear me?
I
Not you. Okay. Bad. Bad.
I
Bad.
heard.
There we go. Yeah. No. I've been muted this whole time, so nobody's heard anything I've said. Um. So,
Oh shit, man.
I don't even know what to say right now, fam.
All right. Oh well, we'll go back to.
I ain't saying all
So
that shit again.
basically, so basically, we if we start from the beginning, we were talking about having a new relationship with yourself, and when did you become aware that you had that new relationship, and what were the things that triggered your awareness to say, "Dang, like I'm not the same person. Things are different for me." You know what I'm saying?
Mm. Love you too, Snippin. That's it. That's me. That's Iggy Boy. Um, no, indeed, no, and then it got really into another playing field as far as dimensions and experience and all that good stuff. And may I see you? So you heard half of the conversation at least, which is good because love you. Because that will make some sort of a little bit of sense because they heard you and what you were talking about, and we had that going. So let's just chuck it up as ha-has and let's keep the conversation moving.
Yeah. So I would say, what do you do to continue to have that awareness for yourself and to keep fostering a better relationship with yourself?
um, Ooh, appreciate that hard anime. Truly trying to practice acceptance daily, whatever that is, right? Thank you for the heart me fam, and I love you so much. And so, oh shit, they dropping the heart. Got the hard puff to go, and we dropping money on the TikToks. Appreciate you, fam. Give me a sec.
Oh, thank
Uh,
you, baby.
you know what I'm saying? Get the ice cream cone. Shoot, I'm about to start. Um, Damn.
Ooh.
Okay, now with the oh my god, Snip and Hammer is now dropping the finger heart me's like 50 finger heart me's fam. Let's okay, y'all going crazy. Stop. 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 I mean, you
Too
know what?
much. Too much.
Remind yeah, too much. Remind me. I gotta tell you something, Sniffin. Once I finish this, I gotta send you a message. You're gonna laugh your ass off. Um, so what do I do daily to connect with myself and be in this level? Is truly be just practice acceptance, right? And what that
Yeah.
for that is how, and another way to say that is how to be okay not being okay, being okay being on top of the world, being okay receiving gifts, being okay not having anybody around, being okay, just learning to be okay. For me, that really falls down to a few things. One, music. I have to have not have to have I music is a tool that keeps me here. It allows me to
Yeah.
express myself emotionally and mentally and then physically at the end because I love to dance. The other one stuff is things like meditation, yoga, physical activity that gets me out in the world. Day with the 20 French fries. The perfume. Thank you for the perfume snippet. Um, yeah, that would be that would be for me. What about you? The French fries.
So for me, it's practicing, like you said,
Thank y'all
obviously,
so much.
starting my day properly, doing that today is an amazing day.
Mm,
The intention that I'll have something that I'll pick that I want to work on or be better at doing. And then as I go through the day, just checking in with
love
myself,
y'all. Have a great day.
I am feeling great. Looking for the things to keep me at that high vibrational rate, right? Whether
Mm,
it's just going outside for a walk, whether it's if I decided not to lose my cool, focusing on like, man, I had a situation, but I still handled it great. Kudos to me. Great. This is possible. I can do it. I just have to have focus and attention on doing it, right?
yeah.
Um, and like you said, the acceptance part,
Mm,
being okay if I'm by myself, being okay if I kind of slip back a little bit with certain things,
mm,
knowing that I'm resilient enough to make up for it. And because I do that, it does not make me a bad person. I've never been a bad person. A lot of things I was just misunderstood. So once I have practiced that radical acceptance, I'm no longer really worrying about being misunderstood because I'm good with me. So those would be the things that I focus on at this point. Um, now,
mm.
when you do have a tough moment and something critical or something vital happens that puts you back in that place of possibly unworthiness or I always make mistakes, what do you do to overcome that? What could you walk us through, your thought process and some of the things you might do to get yourself back on track? Or do you just kind of stay in that moment until you're like, yeah, that happened, but that's not me, and you move on from there?
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of both, a variety. Let's just
Okay.
say that, right? Because
Yeah.
there are times where I do have what is it? I can't say that word, contingencies. Is that the right?
No, you
Yeah.
said it
Okay.
right.
Um, to set around myself, i.e., I have people like yourself, family, again, these tools that I am consciously aware at all times that they're there, and I know what they will do if I utilize those tools, right? The things that I can achieve if I actually do those things and utilize those tools. And so there are times where I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna do those things and get out of this mental rut or these feelings or this whatever reality that I'm in. Or I, like you said, there are times with like currently where I'm just like, I'm in my mind, I rationalize why I'm okay being here, right? And just allow myself to be, however long that takes, because there is no, I've come to a place also in understanding that there is no one way to be. Time isn't gonna stop, things aren't gonna pause. You know, whatever it is that I want to do, I can be in that, and things will continue on. Life will continue on, and with that, I have come to appreciate the choice that I make. And the one thing that makes it difficult for me is
Hmm.
those I allow to engage with me, because I'm okay being in my own rut until I have people telling me, man, you should get out that rut, man, this, that, and that third, right? Then the conflict of thoughts happen and all these other things can get happening with that. I feel some type of
Yeah.
way, then I don't know how to deal with them. I don't know how to say, you know what, man, I'm just happy being miserable. I'm happy cutting ties with people. I'm happy, like, truly, people are, and so for me, just being, again, being okay with whatever it is that it is at the same time, understanding that I have the choice to change it at any point that I want.
You know what I realized?
Mm,
When you care about people, it's hard to allow them to just be in that mood, right? We want to make them feel better. We want to make them laugh. But sometimes that's not necessary. They need
mm,
to be in that space of feeling what they need to feel to get back to normal, or whatever it is.
mm-hmm,
Or sometimes they just need you to acknowledge what's going on, but nothing needs to be said. But I have
mm,
noticed that times for me, people I do care about, trying to figure ways to make them feel better. Where in reality, that's not my lane, that's not my role. And if I haven't been asked to do certain things, and that's not something I need to, so that's something I try and be mindful now. And even when I do try and do it, it's that fine line. Like, am I overstepping? Am I trying to do too much? Because if the person's not asking for this, is this something that they want? You
mm.
know?
Yeah.
So
No,
I could kind of see how that could irritate or frustrate people at particular times.
no, most definitely. For me, I share that, share the sympathies and frustrations on both ends of the spectrum. One being on the person that I know, because I know how it is to be depressed and negative. When I see somebody in that state, I don't mind being the clown. I don't mind doing all, going that extra mile to bring that frown upside down, right? And um, it's not until now that I realize, like, man, they have the right to choose that, just like I have the rights to be there as well. They do. And who am I to be like, no, 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 you got to be this way all the time? Like, nah, that's not a bad place to live. And regret is not a bad place to experience. These emotions truly teach us the lessons. I feel like these negative emotions are the stitches that blend these patches that we call experiences of life and truly create the character that we become, right? The lessons that I learned the hardest, that left me with embarrassment and this, that, and the third, those are the ones that I remember the most.
So, so would you say that suffering is a catalyst for awakening?
um as people before us have said, the simple fact of existing equals suffering, right? Even when it's good, there's suffering. And that is the most trippiest concept that I've come to understand, right? And it's like, before I'm like, nah, what do you mean good is painful? And it's like, well, love, right? Love is a great experience. Without love, that beautiful love that have inspired people to do great, amazing things in this world, has also shattered many, many souls and many, many things in this world, right? And um,
Yeah,
somebody also said something really great before, where it's like, um, it is sad. The saddest thing about betrayal is that it only comes from the people that you love and love you,
I would agree.
right? Like, because
I
if
would agree.
you didn't love each other, there is no betrayal. You wouldn't care. That's really interesting. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, but you know, because with love, there's respect and trust.
Mm-hmm.
But that goes back to the thing, though. There's different forms of love.
Mm.
There's unconditional love, love with condition, and then where we all, I think, I can speak for myself, but probably most of us, we confuse, an aspect of desire.
Mm.
And then when we do love, we love with conditions or we love with attachment.
Mm-hmm.
And when the trust is broken or when the expectation is not met, that's where all those feelings come from. When in reality, if it's just pure love, there would be no stipulation on all of that. It wouldn't matter about trusting. It wouldn't matter about because love is just love. There is
Mm.
no ill intent to it, and there
Mm.
should be no conditions to it.
Mm.
You know.
No, and
Um,
that is a concept that you see in certain cultures that don't believe in killing things, right? Like Buddhism, right? Well, it's like, oh,
yep.
well, there's a venomous spider. Okay, well, you can avoid the venomous spider. You don't have to kill the venomous spider,
Well,
right? And that's the yeah, it's very interesting, and so I definitely can see and understand that concept now.
yeah, because with desire comes attachment. With attachment, there's that suffering,
Mm-hmm.
and definitely in Buddhism, that's a core principle of living without attachment.
Wow.
You can love, but you can love to the point where the love will break you in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
You suffer from it, you know.
Yeah.
It's almost it's almost like a niece or nephew in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
You love them, but they're not your child. So they will go back to their parents and they will do certain things. But you enjoy going out and experience having fun playing football or basketball or going to a movie. But yet they're gonna go home and you're not responsible for all the other aspects of that, like their parents would actually be. That's kind
Mm.
of how I would look at it. Maybe a good example. At the same time, maybe not. Again, it would come down to that person's perception or perspective on it.
Mm.
But yeah, it's definitely interesting when you look at the complexity of love and all the other stuff that we don't talk about, but we dump it in that bag.
Mm.
The trust, the respect, the betrayal, the embarrassment, the expectation, like all of those go in it and they're never discussed or talked about, but yet we all pay for it, right? When we do certain things and I always find that funny, like
Mm.
or I'm held to a specific standard because of what someone did prior to me.
Mm.
And that's even with your family members, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
not just with a girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, husband. It's also with family members. If they grew up and their brother portrayed them or their sister, they're gonna, now carry that and harbor that and then kind of put that trauma on you and make you wary of people and you got to look out for this because this is what happens when you trust too much or this is what and I always find that amazing how our fears and our insecurities we project on other people and not even realize it.
Mm.
And I had to kind of stop myself because I was doing it, to my son, and I was like, man, that's a world or reality he hasn't met yet. He doesn't know. So why would I want to introduce that?
Mm.
You know? But
Great points. Great points.
it's an interesting thing. But
Mm.
yeah, as we come and we're talking about the as you gain greater insight with yourself and you feel better with who you are, what you're doing, where you're at in life, do you find it easier to connect with other people?
No,
And
it
why
doesn't,
do you think that?
because it takes two to meet and be mutually somewhere, right? eh, for example, there's a level of respect that you and your niece or nephew can have in the sense of having sharing a good experience, going to the park, this and that, but there isn't a level that you can only get to with them, right? You're not gonna have a religion conversation with them. You're not gonna have the conversation about what it means to space travel and things in that nature that we're having the conversations about now. The depth into the level of wisdom that we have that comes through from experience and age and all that, right? Being here, doing things. So with that, like there are many adults that are not in a place where I can help connect in a healthy way with them. And so, no matter how healthy I get, it isn't going to
Yeah.
change how I connect with people that may or may not be healthy themselves.
Okay.
Mm. What about you?
Good point. I feel what you're saying, but I also feel for me, I'm more open to connect where before I already had the I already knew kind of like this isn't my person or this person will do this. So I'm judging and already had it in my head that this judging a book, by its cover basically. Things like that or past experiences or trauma
Mm.
to more protect myself and I would mask it as excuses like these people aren't this or that. Or now that I'm more comfortable with myself and I accept those things, I'm more open to the connection because I'm no longer judging myself, so therefore I'm not judging someone else in a sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
So that's what's helped me. Now I'm not naive or anything like that, but I'm just not going in it already saying I'm not this just not my type of person or
Mm-hmm.
this isn't my crowd. I'm more open to at least being there to have a conversation.
I
I'll
see you,
get
cheesy
confirmation,
sticks.
right? But a lot of what I'm starting to notice, most people are your people, but it's when you get with them individually. But in a crowd, you're never gonna get that authentic person. You'll get an aspect of him or what he feels or she feels they need to project to be inclusive with the group.
Mm.
But then when you get individually, it's more personable and you find out you have a little more things in common. That's what I've been finding out, the last 6 months.
See, and that is a interesting concept for me, right? Because for me, that's where I lean on the no aspect because of that belief that it's easier for people to do what you explained to do that they did in a group setting in a one-on-one, right? So in a group setting, there, I feel like my encounter with other people, like you said, it's less authentic because we're trying to fit into the group. When it's one on one, it's similar, but it's easier to not be authentic because of the influence that one or both parties may have on one another, right? And so now, rather than feeling like, example, right? Because I feel some type of way about you, I'm just gonna agree with everything you say. I'm like, yeah, yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, this looks good. Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, and some people call them the yes people, the yes man, or the the glizzies or whatever you want to call them. But the end of the at the end of the day, is the idea of I still want to fit in, whether there is a group or a single person, maybe create our own group. I still want to fit in, and I want to be able to do anything to fit in. That's why when we go on dates, that's why we put our best clothes on, and we go that extra mile to put the best impression forward so we can, whatever your intention is, but at the end of the day, as time goes through, all those kind of dwindle down. Not all of them, not for everybody, but in my experience. And so for that, I I feel like the opposite on that. But I totally, like you said, I totally agree with your experience. And if I had the evidence that you have and experiences the things that you've experienced, I can understand what you're saying. I can understand why you believe in the things that you just said. And I really do appreciate the difference, because sometimes for people in conversations, for me, it's like, oh, I can never understand that, or I never understand that. And it's not about having to understand it, but being okay within the fact that that's what I believe in. I'm okay with that's what you believe in, and we're okay sharing a space that we can say out loud the things we believe in and not feel attacked, not feel judged, like you said earlier as well. So no, it makes sense, man.
Yeah, that's just what I've kind of ran into since I've been out here.
Mm,
Um, but then you can also tell too, like you said, the yes people or people that just want to be accepted so bad. It comes off real eager, thirsty in a sense, right?
mm,
The
mm,
thirstiness. And it is, for some people they like that, for others they like myself, I'm not a big fan of that.
mm-hmm.
I'd rather just be yourself, man, and 9 times out of 10, everybody's gonna like you, man.
Exactly.
Uh, but what like you said, we're all not in those spaces or places, and we got to figure those things out for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so as we still talk about the relationship with ourselves, I know last episode I talked about how I wrote a letter to my father
Mm,
about some things, and that really helped me because it was almost like I gave that my inner child that moment to speak, right? To be seen, be heard, and I supported that, and it was liberating for me,
mm,
and it was like that aspect of me that was kind of missing. It's almost like the puzzle is together. Um,
mm,
you done anything in that aspect to reconnect with your inner child, to be there at the moment that we never we I wasn't there at the time that obviously as I was growing up, right? I kind of left them,
mm.
and now it's like I'm reconnecting with it. So has there been anything that you've been doing that's been giving you the opportunity and space to reconnect with your inner child?
Uh, it got to a point in my life when I went to, I was in the military in 2000, I want to say maybe 11. And I went to school for become a drug and alcohol rehabilitation counselor. And at this school, they made us learn about different practices, uh, i.e., the practice of writing a letter, like you said, and kind of reconnecting with your father. And that was when I really learned what have been doing for a long time. I just didn't know that there was something called behind it. There was a label behind it or anything like that. That it was a known practice or anything, in that nature. So, um, the I I've done similar things. For example, throughout my life. For example, one is my biological mother. Um, the the last time I saw her, or I was 5 years old. The last time I was physically next to her. The After that, um, we've been apart, and for over 20 some odd years, there was no communication whatsoever. Towards the end of her life, I was able to speak to her, not directly to her, but I knew about her. And towards the end of her life, I realized that there was no connection, and for me, that hurt my childhood quite a bit, and it affected me through my adult years. And it got to a point where I needed to have closure on that and really
Yeah.
heal and mend that child experience. And I did a similar thing that you did. I wrote the letter. I really spilled my heart into this letter. I went to a location. I read it out loud as if I was speaking to her. And afterwards, I burnt the letter and I sat with my thoughts. I allowed for certain feelings to be released into the air, into the atmosphere. And although I may not have completely healed the wound, I can definitely tell you that it's still healing, and I'm thankful for that. But that's just one example of some of the things that I've done. Other things that I still do dance, right? I've always loved to dance, but I've never felt okay expressing that. And the reason why to this day I have dance breaks is because that is how I reconnect with my inner child. That is how I heal my inner child. That is how I tell my inner child that it's okay to be you. You are loved. I appreciate you. Be who you need to be, you know, and that is a great practice for me.
No, that's great to hear that you continue to find ways and do things that help you reconnect.
Mm,
Because I did not realize the effect my inner child was having on all the relationships in my life with my kids, uh, at the time, my wife, ex-wife, whatever,
mm-hmm.
even my parents, you know, walking around and harboring that resentment for certain things and not trusting people, which made me look at the world, not trusting certain aspects of it. And it's so negative, and everybody's out to get me, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to be accepted anywhere, and it just created just this nasty taste in my mouth and in life in general, right? Because no matter what I did, it wasn't good enough. And it just snowballed from there. So, it is great to hear some of the things that you do or continue to do that aren't crazy things, right? Because most
Mm-hmm.
people think you gotta go so extreme to understand yourself, right? Like you say,
Mm.
I gotta go to a monastery. I gotta become a whole Buddhist and stop all things and not do this. And that's not true. It can be done in small steps
Mm-hmm.
and just be willing to get those emotions out, to write the letter, um, to just dance and listen to music,
Mm.
to do crossword puzzles, hit the gym. You know, there's so many common. We just don't have the intention on that, and we're not self-aware of why we're doing it or how we're doing it. So I
Mm.
think that that was a great point that you pointed out that you continue to do. I think it's a good thing. Kudos to you. I think it's
Thank you.
amazing that you continue to find ways to understand yourself, allow yourself to process those emotions, and not allow life to overwhelm you
Mm-hmm.
to where you want to go back in that black hole, you know?
Mm-hmm. No, indeed. And something that I wanted to really highlight is the concept for me that um, even having all the tools, having the knowledge, having the experience, I still find myself in dark days. I still find myself experiencing these things that these tools prevent you from experiencing or help you, escape these experiences. And so I want to highlight that just because these things doesn't mean life is going to be, rainbows and sunshines every single bit. It can be if we choose it, but because, in my opinion, we're human, we also enjoy secretly, deep down inside, we enjoy these moments of, despair and helplessness. That it's a specific type of rush that, that can give us a specific reaction. And so, another thing I wanted to compare it to is that just because you have money doesn't mean you can get certain things, right? People feel like, oh, if I just had money, I'll be happier. Nah, fam, you can have all the money in the world and still be miserable. You can still get heartbroken. You can still get all these things that you, and vice versa, right? Indeed. And so I highlight that because it's okay to be whatever it is that you choose to be, as but it's also important to remember that it is a choice, and there are people out here that will assist in others in getting out of these mental states and whatnot. So, you really, for anybody out there that is struggling today or is feeling a little bit down, is feeling this, know that for me, I am feeling negative. I am feeling defeated. I am feeling all these things despite having the evidence of the opposite. And no matter how much I try to make it make sense in my head, it doesn't make sense. But guess what? I
Yeah.
quit trying to make it sense and I'm just allowing myself to experience it. And at any moment, I choose, like a snap of a finger, I can choose another experience. I can go out. I do have the finance to just get in my car and go across America if I want to. I can go get something to eat. I can, there is many other choices I can choose, but I choose to be in a negative point right now because, and I have a list. Oh man, do I have a list of all the reasons of why I feel bad right now and why I'm angry and why I feel this and blah blah blah. Oh, I have plenty of things. Trust me on that. I'm not gonna say them out loud because all those things, the more I talk about it, the more I face it, the more that becomes my reality. And ultimately, I don't want to be in here all the time. All, you know what I mean? I no longer get that enjoyment out of it. Now I do have a good time having these conversations with my friends. I do like going out. I do like doing other things. I have to say this just as the opposite. Because as much as I say, oh, I hate people, I hate the traffic, or I hate this, that is why I'm having such a horrible time outside.
Hmm. I
Because
would
that's
agree.
right, exactly. So in the same, I have to be able to believe in the
All
opposite.
negative attitude.
Mm. Heck yeah, man.
Your attitude's already it's poo poo in the mood, man. The
That's it.
attitude's already not allowing you to just look around and see a bird chirping and breathing in just some fresh air, as fresh as it can be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, huh? No, that a great way you put it, man, and I think that's good to reinforce that and allow people to see that even if you're not feeling so hot, you still have that choice. I can sit with that emotion, but I don't have to live that reality. Those are two
Mm.
different choices to make. I think those were great examples, man. And
Mm.
continue to do that. Continue to embody those things and authentically be you as you go through the process. And what I'm really realizing is actions are stronger than words. And as people see that, they can see that it's also possible for themselves. And as they make those changes, they'll be on the same track.
Mm.
And that's the biggest thing is we can only be so concerned and worried about ourselves, right? And
Mm-hmm.
as we continue to do that, it's almost like they always say that one kind act, another person will do it. They see it, and it's like a ripple effect and how it goes out in the world and how people start interacting with each other. But it
Mm.
does start with yourself. You have to have that relationship with yourself. You have to have that awareness, the grace, the love, the commitment, and most importantly, that acceptance, that radical acceptance,
Mm-hmm.
that even all the quirks that you don't or may not like, that is a part of you and you need to embrace it.
Mm-hmm.
All aspects are encouraged. And we're
I
here
agree.
to find that balance. And with that balance, live and have those intentions to live the life that we chose to come here and enjoy.
That's it.
So I know we're coming to an end. Was there anything else you wanted to highlight?
Um.
You wanted to tell people?
Yeah. No. Definitely. One, I want to highlight. Every single person that continues to engage with me, right? And before I
Yeah,
said that mainly directed towards the people that gave me positivity only, right? Only the positive things, the good things, like this and then that. Now I'm truly grateful for everybody because every encounter is a lesson for me to engage with and appreciate and grow from. And so I am really grateful for every single interaction that I have. And that is something that continues to be abundant. Good people in this world are out there. It may feel at times that there aren't, but I'm true evidence. We have Ahmad Germain here. That is true evidence. We have Mr. Angel Munoz in the, in the chat right now. He is evidence. We have Cheesy. We have Snip and Hammer come through earlier. We have Anime Freak. That is evidence of really good
yes.
people.
Nick came through earlier too.
That's right. Nate came through Envy, So with that said, is that um, you're not alone. And if you are ready to make that decision of community, of health, of wellness, of prosperity, of leveling up, transcendence, know that we are here. And even if we are in a state like I am, where I may not be my cheery self at all times, doesn't mean that the help stops, doesn't mean that the environment, the facilitation of this beautiful growth will stop. And whether I'm here or I'm not here, Ahmad Jermaine here or not, we're all. And so pray to all of you, and say out loud that have the strength to reach out when you need it, but be prepared to do the work that is required to make the shift, and enjoy the ride, enjoy whatever it is. I want to say thank you to you for continue to participate willingly in my life, as a friend, as a brother, as an authentic human being. It truly is helpful to know that I have people like you and Snip and Anime and all these guy people that I can be myself, whether that's cheery, that's down, that this, that's that. I can truly be myself, and know that you guys give me strength to do the hard things, because sometimes the belief that I have you on my back reminds me that I'm capable despite. So I appreciate you, brother, and I love you, man.
Appreciate it, man. I love you too.
Mm,
Appreciate all the kind words, just being there. And we started by having the gratitude moment of something good. I wanted to leave the same way.
mm,
So what is something today that you are grateful for?
mm. My mother.
I would agree. Now, what I want you to do is notice when you say my mother, right?
Mm,
How does that feel? How does it feel throughout? Does it bring you peace, joy,
all
just
of the above.
unconditional perfect?
Yes, I think it brings positivity, warmth, um, but more importantly, like you said, unconditional love. I think that one highlights it better.
Perfect. Well, let's carry that energy into the
Mm,
next episode. And this is just a reminder of all the chaos and things that we go, challenges we go through, and that there is always something there worth appreciating, right?
mm, indeed.
Nietzsche said, Nietzsche said that, I gotta get the quote because it fits with this so perfectly, but I can't remember it, so I'm not gonna. But I am gonna leave us with the three L's,
Mm,
and if you don't know it, for those that popped in or popped out, the three L's is take time. Well, here we go. Lead with love, take time to laugh, and never stop learning.
mm.
So, with that being said, I'm Ahmad Jermaine. There's
Intoxicated.
intoxicated DJ. Tongue's a little heavy today. Got to do some exercises. Um, well, other than that, man, I hope a wonderful week and continues to be self-aware and give themselves grace and lead with that unconditional love. No judgment, accept yourself, and change is one step away.
Amen. Appreciate you, brother. Everybody have a great weekend.
You
We
too.
out.
All right. Thank you for joining us and have a good night. Lead with love, take time to laugh, and never stop learning. Thank you for joining us and have a good night. Lead with love, take time to laugh, and never stop learning.